Good evening. It is Friday, October 1st, 2021. This evening I want to take a look at parts of Psalm 71. I'll not be reading the entire psalm, but it is worth a look for you to look up on your own. In this psalm, King David writes as an old man who has trusted God for his entire life. David has been the shepherd boy, the giant killer, the warrior, the king, and now an old man. Psalm 71, and I'll be reading from the New Living Translation, 2nd edition. O Lord, I've come to you for protection. Don't let me be disgraced. Save me and rescue me, for you do what is right. Turn your ear to listen to me and set me free. Be my rock of safety, where I can always hide. Give the order to save me, for you are my rock and my fortress. Verse 5, O Lord, you alone are my hope. I've trusted you, O Lord, from childhood. Yes, you've been with me from birth. From my mother's womb, you have cared for me. No wonder I am always praising you. My life is an example to many, because you have been my strength and protection. That is why I can never stop praising you. I declare your glory all day long. And now, in my old age, don't set me aside. Don't abandon me when my strength is failing. Drop down to verse 14. But I will keep on hoping for your help. I will praise you more and more. I will tell everyone about your righteousness. All day long, I will proclaim your saving power, though I am not skilled with words. I will praise your mighty deeds, O sovereign Lord. I will tell everyone that you alone are just. O God, you have taught me from my earliest childhood, and I will constantly tell others about the wonderful things you do. Now that I am old and gray, do not abandon me, O God. Let me proclaim your power to this new generation, your mighty miracles to all who come after me. First thing David does is repeats the prayer that he has prayed many times, for God to be his protector. Some folks think we just need to ask God once to be our protector and we never need to mention it again. Yet, we're the same ones that when we lock our house, don't we always reach out and check the knob each time we lock it? Don't we fasten the seatbelt each time we check the car and give it a little tug to make sure it's clicked? If we're buckling a child into a car seat, don't we always double check the fastening? Just like we double check other protective measures, David prays each time, if not multiple times a day, for the Lord's protection. David gives testimony that God has cared for him since his mother's womb. Today it's almost fashionable to blame our parents for the things wrong in our lives. And David was certainly not the recipient of overwhelming paternal confidence, but rather than mention his parents' humanity, David praises God for his long-standing protection and support. Then David makes a plea to not be set aside now that he is old. He asks not to be abandoned now that his strength is failing. Then David makes a very powerful commitment to God. David promises to continue to tell his story of God's marvelous actions throughout his life to the younger generation. He will continue to publicly praise God, and he specifically mentions two aspects of God, God's power and God's justice. You know, one of the things about passing things on to the younger generation is we need to be careful to communicate so that they hear us. It's not just us repeating our same old stories over and over and over again, but it's us making sure that what we say is heard and understood by those we're talking to. When we lose control over many aspects of our lives, we can easily fall into the trap of thinking that God has become powerless as well. God's power has not dimmed one iota since before creation. He is still the mighty miracle-working God that spoke the oceans into their depths and the mountains into their heights. David also speaks of God's justice. When so many areas of our lives and culture cry out for justice, when the poor and oppressed continue to be continually harmed, where racial prejudice and discrimination run rampant, we need to remember that God acts in justice. May we see the power and justice of God in our lives from early childhood through retirement and beyond. God bless you.